Why is this happening?
Yeah. Wait.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay! OC.
Okay. I'm connected via browser.
Missed
So if I sound differently, that's why.
So far, it's the same.
Yeah, I don't hear any difference.
Alright, so... the problem with the phone is then I have to basically hold it up to my head, and that's... This works. I'll figure out, because I've been having issues with my Discord the past couple of days. I gotta figure out what's going on with it, so... Alright, so that said, the reindeer squeals, it runs off into the crowd, and several individuals are just sort of staring at Fawn. That said, we will now go ahead and head upstairs.
Oh, and sorry.
Yes?
I was just going to say, so you don't forget, Road also did a thing at one point, but do the upstairs.
Road's doing the eavesdropping.
Yes. Apalia and Silk. You guys head up to the second story, and it's not as crowded as the first story, but not a whole lot less so. It's still pretty crowded, still a lot of people. The waitstaff is running around, and you can actually see your sister off in the corner, currently talking to some rather burly-looking longma, and she appears to be quite ragged and tired.
Still grumbles a bit at the noise. This is no better.
It's slightly better.
It's
A little
ever
better.
so slightly better. So shush. Stop confining. Polya walks up to her sister and gives her a hug, a surprise hug.
She jumps and turns as if she's about to smack you across the face. Upon seeing you, there's like this moment of shock. All of a sudden, she screams, "Apalia!" and wraps her hooves around you, begins weeping openly into your shoulder.
Polya returns the hug. Well, it looked like you were going to slap your older sister. Jeez.
Note, I might add that she's currently sobbing uncontrollably.
Yeah. So Apalia is comforting her sister.
The Longma sort of look at each other like, what's her problem? Hey, one of them taps the table. You gonna get my drink or something?
In a hot second, sir.
And she starts shaking quite a bit as she seems unable to quite stop herself.
I need to check my abilities quick. Oops. Not the right.
I almost said the wrong name for your sister. Good thing I double checked.
Yeah. So, in a one-word summary, what is her current emotional state?
Panicked to the point of near hysteria.
Oh boy.
Oh, one word summary. I'm sorry, that's not a one sentence summary. Terrified.
Oh joy. Alright, what's been going on that you're terrified?
Looks up. It's Ohai. He hasn't come home yet.
I see.
A couple weeks ago, he left to go to Rain City on a shipment, and I haven't heard from him since.
Out of character, how long were we traveling to get here?
Oh wait, because it took you about About a month and a half, because it took you a couple weeks to cross the waste, then a couple weeks to cross the ocean. So yeah, no, she says, sorry. So yeah, we're saying that it's been a couple of months and I haven't heard from him yet.
Dang it. He hasn't returned yet?
Shakes her head.
I was on the ship? No, the words can't.
Have you seen him?
Not since rain, no.
He looks down. Remind me, how well does she know your capabilities?
Fairly?
Like, does she understand them, or is she just unaware that you have like these?
Aware that I have, I guess.
She looks up. Can you like sense for him or something?
Let me see if I actually can do that, because I've used me. Nope, I cannot.
Looks crestfallen.
Out of character, would this be a bad time to tell her that, yeah, about what happened in Rain?
That's that would be an insight check.
I feel like you could figure this one out.
I'm leaning towards now would be a bad time to tell her, but just for kicks and giggles.
She and her husband love each other a great deal, and you know that whenever they're apart, it's rough for both of them. You know your sister. She's a pretty she's pretty self sufficient. She knows pretty well what how to handle herself, but she and her husband have a particularly strong relationship, and essentially telling her what happened, particularly right now, well, it would be a hard pill to swallow.
Okay. So I'm not gonna tell her that. But I don't know what else to say. Or talk about.
The question. So, is there anything you have to say or anything you want to say or do in the situation?
Slug doesn't really want to interrupt for a variety of reasons. She technically might have a way to check, but I don't know if she's willing to offer that right now because it's kind of involved and risky.
One of the longbows like, I hate to break it up, but I kind of need a drink.
You need a drink, sir.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting here.
Maybe it would be better if we talked later.
Bye.
When we're away from the crowd as well.
It's worth noting that they're both wearing uniforms, and on the uniform is the crest of the so-called King of Hoshan.
Oh. Oh no.
You'll get your drink here in a minute, sir. Just I'm comforting my sister for a minute.
You just kind of let out an irritated sigh and say nothing.
Hey, you lose your significant other and see how you feel.
Did you actually say that out loud?
Whispered it under her breath.
If your sister overheard that, shall we?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
no, he's not dead.
She glances up at you with huge eyes that sort of like, wait, what? And they just sort of sit there for several moments.
What? Neither of us have seen him in a while. Not dead, he's just not here.
Right before you say that, actually, right as you open your mouth, Saint.
Oh God, yes.
Uh,
Saint, you hear a blood-curdling scream coming from upstairs.
Oh my
Oh, you
Granted,
played a
it's-
nasty
granted-
game, OC.
Granted, the word is no. The scream is the word no, but it's very clearly heard through the entire tavern.
All right, Saint gets out of the closet.
oh boy. Road immediately drops eavesdropping, looks at her, looks upstairs, and just kind of gives an oh no.
Everyone in the tavern just sort of
Gets
like
up.
freezes for a second and tries to figure out what's going on. A few what appears to be guards sort of get up and sort of look up towards the stairs. They don't quite seem sure if they should react to what's going on or not. A couple of them.
Was that waiting to see if the guards react? Saint slams her axe on the ground, setting it alight, and she walks up the stairs.
A couple of them start to head up that way. Now
Road follows.
that said, Apolia, you open to say your mouth that, and suddenly your sister screams in absolute heartbreak, nearly deafening you, causing the guards and everyone around you to jump several pups in the air out of sheer startlement.
Silk kind of tries to cover her ears and curls up a bit.
And then after she does that, she sort of shaking violently. And just begins moaning, no, no, Bohai, no.
So
Over and over
Polly's
again.
going back to hugging her. He's not dead, he's just not here right now.
She looks up at her. Can you look into my eyes and tell me that you know that he's not dead?
No, I can't say I know for sure 100%.
And at that moment, Silk, you notice that several armed individuals are shuffling through the crowd at great speed towards your position.
Apolia,
Yes.
we might have company.
Oh joy.
At that moment, several armed guards have shown up and formed a sort of a semicircle. Road and Saint, you headed up as well, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The innkeeper also ran up as well, and you can see a flaming axe over behind, making its way through the crowd.
Oh, I know that one.
Who could it be?
As
Road is going to cast a spell as we go up, actually.
nothing.
He taps his stem, but nothing visibly happened.
And there's also a loud shout of, "Get out of my way! Get out of my way!" And finally, there's a shout of, "Get out! I own this place!" As the owner shoves a couple of Longma guards aside and looks down. There's a brief moment. One of the guards goes to open his mouth to say something. He's like, "Get up! You've been moping for the past few weeks. Get up, or you're fired."
Does Saint notice this?
What is his name again? Bo? No, not Bo.
Oh, ye?
No.
The owner?
Yeah.
the owner.
Yeah, how
I
ye?
post.
I'll repost it.
Huyin. My
Huyin.
apologies. First up, my apologies to our Chinese speaking audience. I can't into Chinese. I am sorry. Yes. Huyin.
Okay. Huo Yin, will you please shut up? You ungrateful insert expletive here.
Is that a Pegasus swear?
Swears in Pegasus.
Yes.
Road kind of like flicks his ear at that.
And Saint, yes, you see this scene unfold.
She walks up behind the innkeeper.
Road is also going to walk up behind the innkeeper, conveniently between the innkeeper and Saint. At least
Yeah,
somewhat.
give me a second here.
Sure.
Alright, the innkeeper and Road need to make a will save.
Oh boy. Oh yeah,
All right,
I don't need
so
to close my
just those two. You're not targeting anything else.
No one else but them.
Then we will do.
I'll be that.
Alright, Road, is that a 15 or a 1?
That is a 16.
Alright, you make it. OC, you fail.
Okay then. What do you do for this?
He becomes frightened of saying it.
Well, I mean, what is Saint doing? Like, is she holding aloft something? Is she saying something? What is happening?
Well, the air just gets really cold. Everyone notices, but only 2 people, like, feel the brunt of it. But, like, she doesn't do anything noticeably.
Only 2 people suffer magical fear. Everyone else just suffers regular fear.
As that happens, the innkeeper who's about to shout a retort back to Apollia suddenly freezes. Very slowly looks behind him. Looks at Saint. Eyes wide with terror.
Get out. Now.
Oh, wow.
It's his bar, though.
Shh. I want to see how this goes.
Oh no.
He moves to the side, keeping an eye on Saint, and slowly sort of shoves his way. Well, as he sort of makes his way, people are sort of like moving out of the way downstairs.
Saint kneels down to Apollia's sister and just uses a lay on hands on her.
Okay. How many points are you using, just out of curiosity?
All 15 of them.
I don't.
Alright.
I don't know if emotional damage can be healed with lay on hands.
I mean, you can heal like disease. Does that count for depression?
As you lay your hands on her, you do see some of her trembling sort of ease a little bit, and several of the guards just sort of stare, uncertain of what to make of the situation. And one of them steps forward, clears her throat. Is everything all right?
Everything is fine here.
Well,
And
no,
if you
but
make any more trouble, and you answer to me.
I don't think anyone's in danger yet.
Oh, one more time, Saint. What'd you say?
Anyone makes any more trouble here, and you answer to me.
The guard looks slightly indignant and is about to say something, but then the other guard sort of like taps her on the shoulder and like shakes their head a little bit. Sort of closes her mouth. Alright, well, I guess if that's that, everyone back to wherever you were doing, at ease, I guess.
Road spends an action doing something that nobody sees.
And with that, the guards sort of slowly make their way back to what they were doing. And several of the patrons just sort of excuse themselves and go elsewhere. There's now a large area around the four of you at this point. 5 of you. No, 4, because Fawn is...
This turn.
Yes, Fawn, where are you? What are you doing? Once you heard that horrible scream.
Basically, Fawn's going to go. Ew.
Oh no.
I was kind of hoping that would be one extreme or the other.
There you got right smack dab in the middle.
Yep. Because low wisdom was going to be Fawn assumes that was a scream of admiration and goes back to the table.
A no scream of admiration.
Fawn,
Oh, it can't be.
She didn't hear it properly.
Give me an insight, would you?
Okay.
Oh, I haven't forgotten about you yet, Road.
Oh.
That was no scream of an adoring fan. That's someone whose heart just ripped in half.
Yeah, I'm going to go up and check. I'm going to follow the innkeeper and check on that.
Right, so then you saw everything unfold then?
Yeah.
Alright. So now it's basically the 5 of you, well, 6 of you, because even the guards at the table just sort of like, we're just going to go ahead and leave. It's a little awkward. So now it's just the 6 of you sitting there, and there's not a lot of people around you. There's still people up there, but most of them are sort of giving you lots of space.
Road is going to kind of, I guess with the guards doing their own thing, going to sort of just turn with concern to the Pegasi. I think it's Pegasi. And say, is everything okay?
You're asking the one that screamed?
Well, both of them.
In their general direction.
They're hugging.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. You're addressing both of them. The sisters. Gotcha. Well, I don't think your sister's going to offer much of a response, Apolia. So, do you have anything? Do you have an answer to that?
No, things aren't going so well. Let's go find someplace else to stay for the night. And Apollia's going to bring her sister with her.
Her sister's not going to resist any efforts. In fact, if anything, she clings to her sister all the more.
Nate is going to watch the two of them as they go. Just try to understand what's going on.
Again?
Nate is just trying to understand what the story is with the two of them.
On is?
No, her sprite.
Oh, gotcha. Right. Gotcha. All right, so I take it you take your sister out of the inn?
Yeah.
Road follows the crowd and makes sure to get his whip on the way up.
Sane escorts the 2 Pegasi out after letting out a small sigh.
And crossbow.
Does anybody stay in the inn?
I do.
What are you up to?
Well, I did promise a performance, so I do need to take a bit of time to prepare.
What am I up to? That is a fine question. Okay, quick question. Has Apolia told the group anything about the layout of the place? Or what would we know from the get-go?
I was gonna show you guys everything.
Yeah,
don't-
but Silk is no longer wanting to be anywhere near the inn right now.
I
So
don't.
so the question is, does she know where she's walking, or is she just going to start wandering around?
She knows how she got here. She came from the floor below. There's a staircase going down and a staircase going up. So she could leave the building relatively easily. It's not like
I wasn't talking about the inn though.
oh, you're talking about
I
the
meant the
place
city.
itself.
Yeah.
No, she hasn't really explained too much about the city yet.
Okay. Let me just.
You might have heard Apolia say the whole "let's sleep somewhere else tonight" thing.
Presumably, I presume she said that loud enough for the group to hear.
Yeah.
All right, Silk is going south.
Yeah.
So just like
No. Stick with
this
the group.
way. No, she'll be back later.
It's a giant city.
All right. As you head out, Apollo, you see the innkeeper off to the side, leaning up against a rather large root, like over here, and he just sort of looks at Alia and Saint with a mixture of fear and anger. Just runs and just goes around the corner and just keeps on going.
Okay. What other places to stay are there besides this inn?
Well, there is the Golden Flower.
What other realistic places are there to stay in?
That's a
Here.
street.
That's Pit. I mean, Donut said he had a room. We could all crash.
He had a room here. Technically, we might be able to sleep on the boat, but
There are a few. There are a few. They're a little more expensive, but there's a few places to stay around the bend. For people who have arrived. And as far as like other inns are concerned, there's another inn that's not too far from the shoreline, down the southern end of the city. That one's a little bit of a dive. And there's another place near the market where that merchants typically hole up. Generally speaking, for visitors, the Mosquito Inn and then anywhere near the bend are generally speaking where they stay.
Can I look for one of Father's representatives in the area?
You have a background for that, don't you?
Yes.
All right, we'll get to that in a second.
I would
That's
also
it.
like to do a background thing in a second. But
All right. But speaking of you, Road, I want to talk about what you overheard back before this whole thing went south. So apparently the two of them have been talking pretty intensely. The sheep feels that the so-called King of Hoshan is kind of in the right, and the cow very much disagrees. So apparently it sounds like the Civil War erupted a couple of weeks ago. Not, maybe more like about 4 weeks ago, give or take. Nobody remembers exactly how or when it happened. All that you know is that apparently it just happened, and suddenly there was a civil war going on, and this king of Hoshan has been running around declaring that the queen has become too detached, or the empress has become too detached and no longer even doesn't even care about the city itself. Apparently, there have been a few times where the lower city and even the imperial capital have been in some issues, and apparently the imperial court was a bit slow to respond. And so the king is like, I'll actually basically take care of the kingdom. This kingdom is ours. We own it. We should take care of it. The world is, the empress is too busy thinking about people who aren't her own. And as a result, has taken control of the lower city. Apparently, most of the fighting that's going on is is taking place over the imperial capital and around its entrance. You also learn an interesting thing. Apparently, the Longma are not actually killing each other. Rather, they're just wounding each other quite badly, and then they're intentionally not delivering the killing blow on each other. They're not really sure why, and both of them are a little confused as to why this is the case. But it's something they feel is very strange, considering this is a literal civil war that's going on. As apparently, this lower city has been in control of the king for about a couple of weeks. They finally took full control of it then. And ever since then, life has been not terrible. Like, the king's men aren't bullies and brutes. They're not the kindest, most polite individuals around, but, they're not running around, throwing their weight around and being jerks. Apparently, the king's men treat the city, they themselves apparently view themselves as citizens of the city, so they treat them, so they act accordingly. So apparently, the king isn't doing a terrible job of being an administrator, but apparently, he's not doing the best either. And nobody really goes out in the streets anymore, largely because, well, you don't want to be out in the streets near a war zone, but also particularly, also because apparently there's a curfew in place. The king apparently at some point declared martial law, and the lower city is currently being run by the guards.
Oh, that is all very good information.
And apparently, like I said, the sheep feels that, this isn't necessarily, like, it's unfortunate this is happening, but kind of agrees, because the sheep felt that the imperial capital was just, especially recently, was really distant. No one really talked to them very much. They didn't come down very much, and really wants to see more unified Hoshan, and is like, maybe this king's what we need. And the other one's like, are you absolutely insane? The Empress has been ruling for thousands of years, for all we know, and things have been working just fine. Are you tripping your lid?
Yes.
Their conversation came to an abrupt halt when the scream came about.
I see. I'm going to retroactively say Road was kind of casually reading his book a little bit while he was watching. By reading, I mean writing. By writing, I mean I took notes.
Recorded that conversation.
I'd like to point out that reading and taking notes are technically slightly two different things. I mean, they can be done in tandem, but...
Oh, for sure.
All right. Now then, to move the timetable forward a little bit, the group finds themselves in front of the inn.
So, does Apolia mention the locations of other inns?
Yes. She does. This one, to be precise.
Which one?
The one that we're in.
Pun
No,
not intended.
other inns.
Oh, other ends.
Yes, anything but the Mosquito Inn.
Apolia will let the party know of the other options.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, as I was saying before, Saint is gonna look for one of Father's representatives in the area.
Oh, and yes, could I roll like a... So my background is based, it's a rip-off of Researcher, which means basically, Road, generally knows where like, sort of libraries and things like that are, and occasionally the CD Tavern, but that was mostly in, Rain, which kinda is on fire. So he might have heard of maybe
Not
a
on
famous
fire.
school here if there is one. If not, well, that's his problem.
What are you fixing to do? What do you want to accomplish?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I just want to know if there's like a library or anything like that nearby, just to have it in mind.
Question, yes. There are a few different places you could check for, or there are a few different places that have a library. City Hall has records that other citizens. Let me just stop. City Hall has places that records that citizens can look up. The Bend has, we wouldn't call it a library, but there's like places you can get for information about the city and things to do. And you learn that the shrine apparently contains a small collection of texts. Apparently, it's if you want to learn a thing or two about the history of Hoshan and its ancestors, that's a good place to go.
Okay, that's all really good then. Road is definitely going to keep the shrine in mind, and probably. So you said there was like an inn in the Bend, right? Or that area?
A couple of them, yeah.
And if Polly is pointing that out, and we know this, then it's close to the docks. Road is probably gonna make a suggestion, like something like, that area. It's probably cheap enough over there, and I'm sure it would, from the sounds of it, be okay.
Where again?
Near the Bend.
Okay. Oddly enough, that's where Polly was going to suggest.
The green buildings that you see are a mix of places to stay and just like tourist trap spots.
Ooh, okay.
And a couple of oversized houses, like on the tree itself, are essentially large, rich houses. So, like that, and that.
So, has Silk begun walking south as we...
I'm assuming she's still in earshot, but
Okay.
she's moving that direction. Yes.
Well, I guess if she's already got the, right idea, Rhoda's gonna kind of look to the group and then look to Silk and then sort of trot that way. A whole 40 pups. Earshot. We're yelling.
It sounds like the group sans Fawn are heading to a new place. Yes.
I'm still waiting for resolution on my thing.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to settle this in or out of earshot of the group?
Saint isn't of mind enough to care.
No, I'm asking you, the player.
I would be fine if they heard it.
If what?
If the party hears it, Saint doesn't care, so I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. As the group begins to sort of make their way, is there anything you wanted to say or do before we move on? Alia?
Oh, sorry. The audio cut out as you were saying stuff.
I was just asking, is there anything you wanted to say or do before I address Saint's little thing?
No.
Saint, as you stand there, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
Saint turns to see who it is.
Oop.
Um,
It's a reindeer who looks a little rough around the edges, but is surprisingly his eye. You can tell his eyes. He's seen and done a few things that you probably shouldn't tell the local constable. But his manner of dress is surprisingly nice. As he approaches you, and he's like, "I'm sorry. Are you Saint?"
yes, that would be me.
What are you doing here? Why aren't you in Rain City?
Rain City is not in a great position right now. I'm here to look for help.
You. What, did Father send you here to, like, take care of something or someone?
I don't know where Father is right now.
I mean, you don't know where Father is.
I mean, I don't know.
How can a brainless pawn like you not where you know your puppet master is?
Uh-oh.
I didn't have time to look for him.
You didn't have time? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Saint gets on, like, kneels down. I'm sorry. I will not fail him again.
Good.
But I must ask if you know of any place we can stay.
He glances back behind the mosquito inn. Oh, not there, I can tell you that much.
Somewhere more private, please.
You're telling me... He looks down at her. Wait. He looks kind of confused. Are you telling me Father didn't send you here?
No, he did not.
You're disobeying him.
Out of necessity.
Necessity, is it? What can be more necessary than obeying Father's commands?
Would I have heard this conversation? Or am I too far away by now?
Perception?
Oh boy.
Road is like halfway. Should I also roll?
No, what's your passive perception? Was my
Oh, passive is
question.
12.
12? You can hear Saint talking to someone, but you're not catching the particulars.
Okay.
Does Road catch it then?
Yes, you can overhear this conversation quite clearly because you have an obscene passive perception, if I recall correctly.
Does Apollya hear the conversation?
You're right there.
Apollya gets out one of those, like, little horns and just kind of puts it right next to both of them.
Apollya has a 22 passive perception.
Before I continue with the
And
conversation...
the one time I don't make a character with boatloads of wisdom, and this happens.
I also took a feat, so...
Before I continue the conversation, do Apollo or Road have any particular things they're doing they want to do at the moment?
I'm going to say Silk turns around though.
Apollya is looking at a map.
Road had nothing, like, super in particular. So,
Alright.
no.
Thanks for a second. Send a message to Father. Figure out, see what his instructions are for you. I guess we can shove you somewhere, keep you safe and out of sight. Thanks for a second. I have a patron, a good fence, who's over in the Golden Flower. You can probably find a spot to shove you.
Did I hear a free room in the Golden Flower? No. Fawn stays at the Mosquito Inn. Everybody else goes to the Golden Flower. The perfect plan.
This is fine.
Welcome to the Upside Down.
What did you say, Star?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, never mind then.
Basically, Fawn's the mosquito in because she did promise a performance.
Yeah. As a side note, your venue's being cleared by the waitstaff. I mean, granted, they're looking a little shook at the moment, but they're performing their duty and getting things ready for you to perform tonight.
Alright.
The guy then looks down at Saint and strikes her across the helmet. That's for not staying with Father. There'll be more to come later. Maybe one day you'll learn your lesson.
Road is staring at this guy.
He looks up. What, you want to make something of it? This is your
Yes.
business, buddy. Move along.
I say we beat him. Stone him.
Rough him up. No,
How
I
confident
could
are you in
say
this assertion?
something, but it is horribly insensitive.
oh.
Anyway, when you get there,
By the way, it doesn't take an hour to get to the new inn, right?
doesn't what?
Doesn't the spell road cast earlier lasts an hour, so I'm just judging that.
Has it been an hour? No.
Okay. And seeing this, road is actually gonna kind of hug Saint a little bit as we go, or at least walk by her.
For the moment, because for the moment you're still back, or you're just standing back.
We haven't started
Oh,
walking.
I thought we were. I am silly.
Yeah, not yet. The conversation is still happening.
In that case, I guess Road is just going to walk forward and sort of. I guess he. Would he reply to this guy? Yeah, I don't think he'd say anything in particular.
When you get to the Golden Flower, ask for Chang Kui? Chang Kui? I'm not sure how Kui. It also goes by the name of Lady Chang. She's not actually my fence, but she owns the place. Tell her who you are, and she'll know what to do with you. Then glances at the others. Shakes his head, honestly. He pauses for a moment. Glances back at Saint. Ponders something for a moment.
What would you have me ponder?
I might have orders for you later. Maybe. And then he marches back in.
Road sees that guy again. Did that guy look? You said he looked rough around the edges. Anything in particular about him? Because Road is going to try to remember that person specifically.
The best way to think of it is, this gangster you see with the really nice jackets and maybe a couple of rings on their fingers.
Yeah.
May or may not have a cane. He looks like that, but not quite that fancy. He's well dressed, but when you look at his eyes, you can tell he's done some pretty awful things. So he's distinct in that he has the countenance of a pretty nasty person, but dresses nicely.
Oh my!
Can I just Well,
I don't intend to be right on this assumption because I can't say it in a place. I can't actually say what I want to say.
Is there something you want to say in this moment?
There's something I want to comment, but it is insulting a religion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like a real life religion, or
Yeah.
oh,
Oh dear. Very good.
I guess he doesn't. Okay, 2 questions. First off, he doesn't wear pants, right?
What are you doing?
oh no.
Why do you?
Okay, no, that's not. If he wore pants, it would actually work. But he doesn't. So anyway, second question. It was it's
Oh.
prestidigitation. So Road is just gonna make his saliva taste like crap. Not like crap, but like just gross. As we walk away, it feels like he threw up a little bit in his mouth. He doesn't know why.
You know.
Huh.
Well, that said, you came in at the very tail end of that, Silk. So you basically walked up, heard him say something, and smack Saint across the face, and then you more or less heard everything from there.
Okay. So where are we staying again? Where
Good
where are we
room.
where are we going to meet up?
The golden flower. Come on. And she begins to walk in the opposite direction of the golden flower.
Well, not back toward the inn, but I think
Say the golden flower is this way. Also, you didn't tell him that Rain is destroyed.
Yeah, you really gonna just take that from him?
who was
I'm
that?
voicing that.
Yes, I am. It was well deserved.
I think that man is operating on the assumption that Rain is still
Intact.
a city, yeah, intact.
No, Rain
And
is
why would
compromised.
it be?
You were there.
Rain is gone.
We ran away from that. I mean, the buildings are still there, but the living aren't there anymore.
No, I can't. Oh, be gone, right?
Mm.
That's why we're getting help, right?
Well, we want to take it back.
If you're asking if there could be survivors, yeah, I'm sure. Some people can hold up for really long times.
Then
I'm
there's
sure
no
whoever
reason.
you care about is okay.
There's no reason to what?
No reason to worry. I think he said.
Oh, no, actually, Saint was sorry to say something.
You said that around the same thing. I think.
So with that said, is the group changing their direction, heading towards the flower?
I think so.
If only to figure out where it is.
All right.
Then I've got other things to look into. But
Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and I'm going to ask each of you, like, what do you want to do for the next period of time? We'll start with Saint. I presume you're heading to the Golden Flower, yes?
Yes.
And is there anything in particular you want to do when you get there, or is there anything in particular you want to accomplish?
She's going to get the room, head into the room, and do who knows what in there.
Okay. Apolia.
Basically explain the entire situation to her sister on the way, because what harm is there in doing it now?
We'll say Saint gets there a decent amount of time beforehand because carrying Chester along is a little bit slow going. She's not really in the mood to fly at the moment for obvious. Road, what are you up to?
Well, other than seeing, oh, actually, I guess if we're walking past the fountain, he's gonna look at that. But other than looking at the sights and things as we go, and maybe trying to pick up chit chat from the very little amount of people on the street, not much.
Silk, what are you up to?
Okay, so route is just we're going. This is this just on the way, or is this like entirety of the evening? What you're asking for? What I'm trying to do?
Essentially, yes. What are you guys doing for the rest of the evening?
Oh, for the rest of the evening. Well, that does change my answer. And in hindsight, I guess Road probably could talk to Party a little bit.
Because I have there's kind of like 3 steps I want to address in the grand scheme of things. First is go to the Golden Flower and just like A, make sure we actually have a room there, and B, if anything needs to be sorted out with like who's allowed in or not. And Silk needs to know where it is, so she's following along for that. Then the plan would be to head over to the cesspit and start asking a bunch of questions, start trying to gather information.
Okay. In regards to anything in particular, or
Two specifically. First is finding out if there's any part of the trade network around here, and the second is figuring out who it was who was talking to Saint.
I know you're waiting for a performance, but is there anything you want to accomplish before your performance occurs?
Well, she's gonna spend most of the time block rehearsing. But with everything else considered, she's probably gonna try to get a general idea, like just ask around for an idea of what the general city area looks like.
Then for that, Fawn, go ahead and give me 3 charisma checks of your choice. Feel free to mix and match them. Just indicate which one they are.
I have revised my plan.
You mean charisma skills or charisma saves?
Charisma skills, sorry.
Because
charisma
all
skills
my
any 3 charisma
because
skills
all
you
my
wish to
charisma
make.
skills are plus 13.
Fair enough. Go ahead and pick 3 and make them. All right then. Road. I heard you mutter something about changing your plans.
Yeah. Sorry. I think Road's game plan now is now that I realize that this is the whole evening and I'm not being silly. He's gonna kind of copy Silk a bit, and yeah, he wants to make sure that he has a place to sleep. He'll probably also talk to like the party members while he does that, and then he wants to go investigate other places for information, like some of the libraries he might know about, and that shrine, though it might not be as useful as maybe just gossip.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a small scene with Saint, and then we're gonna have the party come together, and then give you the opportunity to talk to the party, Road, to sort of explain them what's on your mind. Then we will go with Saint. We'll go with Silk, do a bit of Road, and then we're going to come back to Apollia's sister because come the evening, Apollia's sister is going to finally come to her senses and start talking to Apollia.
Okay.
That said, let's go ahead and warp over to the Golden Flower, shall we?
New.
Ping.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Dimension door.
Batman.
The whole, I'll grab everyone, but well, I'll grab everyone. Move over there. Did I actually miss Fawn?
No,
No,
I'm
fine.
grabbing Fawn and moving her. Unless you want her to be with the group for this. for the sake of moving everyone around at once.
Well, she's over the mosquito end, so she can just chill. Oh yeah, I did get Fawn. I'll move her back real quick. And then we're gonna snap the camera over to the Golden Flower Complex. To the camera. All right, Saint. You arrive at the front, and as you approach, it's a nice little complex. You see a couple of workers, but there's no immediate. This building here. This building here has the biggest and fanciest looking entrance in comparison to. You see a couple of individuals going in and out, but beyond that, it's not inherently clear where to go.
Can I make a perception to see where the entrance is?
Sure.
Ah, beautiful.
I
Uh,
don't know. I guess as good as anybody else's.
Saint just crashes through a wall.
Oh yeah.
I
There are-
found it.
You do see a couple of individuals walking about, so there's that.
I tried to tail one of them.
They're
doesn't-
menacing deer in armor.
It doesn't take
Quiet,
very long
quiet,
for them
quiet.
to realize they're being tailed, and they turn around. It's a longma, well dressed. Yes, can I help you?
How do I enter there?
He seems a bit. Well, he sort of looks you up and down. Through the main entrance. He points over here. Through the main entrance over there. As you walk in, there will be a reception desk. He glances over at her weapon, at her axe.
The Saint nods and just heads towards it without waiting for the rest of what he ever said.
Mutters something, but I don't think she catches it. Right. As you head in, Saint, you see it's very, very, very Hoshan in here. Like, essentially, imagine you've walked into a place that's designed to be as China could be, and then add a whole lot of actual gold on top of that. If you were like a native, you might be like, okay, this is a little silly. You know, it'd be like walking into a place that's like, it's like as American as can be. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, this is obnoxious. But if you're a foreigner, you might be like, oh, this is awesome. So that's kind of what you walked into. But it's not really garish. It's just there's a lot of money here, and it's designed to be as quote unquote authentic as possible.
Full Woshan experience.
Authentic Hoshan experience with big
200%
quotation
Hoshan.
marks.
Is the floor made of gold too?
And as you walk in, you see a couple of individuals, some who look extremely wealthy, and you see over there behind a desk a longma in long flowing silk robes who looks at Saint curiously and speaks up. Forgive me, are you lost?
I'm here for a room.
You're here for what?
A room, please.
Ah, yes, a prospective customer. Certainly. Come, please. Please, come forward.
You have no customers but father, if you recognize the name.
Looks at you strangely. Oh, my father isn't staying here. Is your father staying here, perhaps?
Where can I speak to the leadership of this place?
Lady Chang, basically. You're to come here and then ask for Lady Chang, basically. One moment, please. Turns and walks away and heads into the back, and you hear some discussion, and you see another Longma sort of lean out to take a look. Serious expression, but all of a sudden their eyes grow really, really big, and suddenly disappear very quickly. And a moment later, they return and come out. Yes, right this way, please. Quickly. And heads off into a side room.
Saint follows, of course.
He walks in, the Longma shuts the door, turns to Satan, and utters a few curses in Hoshi. What are you doing here? And what are you parading father's name around like that?
Why not? I mean, well, someone told me that if I mentioned him, I could get a room here for me and my friends.
Friends. Do they work for father as well?
No, but it hardly matters much. No one ever works for Father Wong anyways.
Well, I can't argue that. Nothing else. It's bad enough. Bad enough the Kingsman wanted to shut this place down, and now you show up out of the blue and just. Okay, look, first and foremost, you can't walk around talking about father in the open, alright? Maybe in rain, that was fine. You can't do that here, okay?
I understand. Yes.
Alright, good. Second, have you told your friends about father?
Doesn't everybody know about Father?
Right. They wouldn't really understand father or really appreciate him. They might treat him, they might say mean things about him. They might not understand really how important he is. So out of respect of father, it's probably best you don't say anything about them. You know what I mean? We wouldn't want to upset father.
Oh, yes, I understand. Yes.
Out of reverence for his name, why don't we just keep quiet until, we hear from him again? Until then, yes, I think I have a place for you and your friends. Follow me, please. He actually takes you over here to this small building. And as you make your way over, tell me, what do your friends look like?
Do I see them?
They're almost here, but not quite yet. They're still just out of sight.
They know my name? I don't really know what any of them are.
What do they look like?
There's a striped one and one with a cloak.
Very well then. Yes. As you're led into the building, he opens the door and leads you down a fairly nice hallway, then knocks on a door. Lady On. That's the wrong name. My bad.
Lady on, what is this, Persona?
Persona 5 intensifies.
Lady Go? Lady Go?
Gal?
I have there's some business requires your attention. The door opens and a fairly well dressed Longma opens it and looks down and looks at Saint and immediately has a disgusted look. What is that thing doing here? You didn't ask. Over at Saint. What business has father sent you here for?
Rain is in trouble, and he would probably want me here, looking for help.
He would probably want you here.
Yes,
You are not here under his explicit orders, then.
I didn't have time.
You're dismissed. She signals for Saint to come in, and the Longma bows away and heads off. Inside,
Saint enters without a word, and that's where we should probably switch to the rest of the party, right?
almost. There's one last thing I want to do right before we switch. He shuts the door, then proceeds to strike Saint several times. How dare you! How dare you! How dare you! How dare you! I'm going to shove you in a closet, and I'm going to keep you there until you've learned your lesson of obedience! I'll give your friends some room, but as far as they're concerned, you're off on business. You go into that dark closet there, and you think about what you've done, and I'll bring some more punishment for you later. She walks over and opens a dark room and points with a hoof.
Saint walks in without a word,
Then to stop,
sits.
Erin takes her helmet off. Now think about what you look like while you're in there, and slams the door shut.
Wait, no, you can't do this to me.
Silence! The rest of the group arrives to see a fairly well-appointed series of hotels with what appears to be the main reception area right there. You see a few, Longma heading hither and thither. Ooh.
Do we see where Saint went?
You don't see her.
Oh no.
So I guess Road just kind of looks around and looks to the main entrance of the Golden Flower, then turns to the other two and asks, "Well, she was told to be in there, or they were told to be in there, right? Because Road wouldn't know Saint's gender."
Silk's just gonna look at Apolia because she does not know this place. They're told to go to the Golden Flower. Is that this?
Is there a sign on the door that reads the Golden Flower?
There is a very lovely there's an emblem. There are two large emblems on the front door, which, well, they're large golden flowers.
I think those probably answer your question. Road points to them. Not really being snarky or anything. He's just kind of.
It's like well, I guess that's the one. You know, like when you're a tourist in your city, you're not 100.
That is a flower and it is golden.
So, do you guys head in?
Sure. Silk's gonna kind of hesitantly step inside.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Oh yeah, are you with us?
Hi, yes, I'm here. I was muted the whole time.
Oh. Well, is there anything you said that you would like to say now?
No, nothing important.
Okay then. Well, as described earlier, when you walk in, it's. I suspect if we were to ride on Road's fumble from earlier, it's like a feast for the senses to the point of being almost overwhelming. But nevertheless, as you step in, the receptionist behind looks up. Oh, hello.
Road gives a nod. Hello.
Hello.
And she suddenly opens her eyes and kind of makes like a muffled, not a screech, but like a sort of a noise of alarm. And all of a sudden, she seems to come to herself. 1,000 apologies. I am very, very sorry. She's staring directly at Red.
Road raises an eyebrow and then looks at Red and then kind of and steps to the right.
Silk's looking between Red and the person. Red and the person.
Why do you do this to me, Red?
Can I help you?
Red's just gonna drift behind Silk slowly.
Menacingly.
I should go.
Staring with his unblinking eye.
Act 3 is the menacing campaign.
It's true.
That is great. Road is going to kind of silently, well, not silently. Road is going to try to draw the attention towards himself and sort of, don't worry about that. She's just a performer. That's little evolution. So, we're here about getting a room. One of our friends should have already come ahead here.
Oh, was it the one with all the armor?
Oh yes, that one.
Oh, one moment, please. She steps out and she goes behind, and a few moments, and almost as soon as she goes to step behind, you see a longbow come running in through the front, respectfully, respectfully hurry past you guys and turns around, looks at him. They whisper, they exchange a couple of words, and she gets like an "oh" look in her face. Turns around, looks at them. He exchanges some words while pointing at the group. They both nod, and then he turns around, looking a bit, like he's been running quite a bit. Walks up. Yes. Whew. My apologies. I've had to run some errands, you see, and I'm feeling slightly winded, but that's no excuse for good. That's no excuse for excellent service. Yes, we have some wonderful accommodations for you. Lady Gal has arranged for a lovely place for you to stay.
That's mighty kind of her.
Indeed. Right this way, please.